Hey everybody, welcome to Paris Landing. We're on Kentucky Lake today. This is my home lake, my home waters, and as a matter of fact, my hometown, and it is my favorite place on earth to fish. We're gonna get out here today, chase these bass around. We're gonna target smallmouth, we're gonna target largemouth. We're gonna fish primarily offshore, but we're probably gonna fish a little bit shallow. But all you need to know is Let's Fish TV is on the air right now.
That is a fish. Oh man, look at this.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southwest region every week.
Oh my gosh. Oh, look at that. Woo!
This is Let's Fish.
We're on Kentucky Lake today, more specifically Paris Landing. It's what I would call the midsection of Kentucky Lake. Kentucky Lake is an impoundment of the Tennessee River, and it is gigantic. It's like 189 miles from dam to dam. The north end of the dam dumps into the Ohio River. The south end dam is the transition between Kentucky Lake and Pickwick Lake. This is a very noted fishery, historically one of the best in the country. Great bass fishing, crappie fishing, catfishing, panfish fishing, you name it. It grows here in Kentucky Lake. She's been in a little bit of a downturn the last few years. If you keep up with bass fishing or just fishing on a national scale, you've probably heard it. Kentucky Lake has been tough. But let me tell you something, this spring, this winter, rolling into this summer has been better than it has been in probably 3 years. I haven't been out here a lot, to be honest with you, because of my work schedule and just kind of traveling around fishing, but we're gonna go out here today and see if we can't put something together. We're gonna be in this low Stinger 198, big boat, and you need that on this big water. We're also going to get you some very relevant information from local reporters in your region. I'm going to get the low ready, going to get everything powered up, ready to go, tied on, send you back to the studio for your weekend planner.
Hey everybody, the Salooner tables are predicting fair game fish activity Saturday and Sunday. Peak daytime activity begins at 1:41 on Saturday and 2:21 Sunday afternoon. The best time to fish in the dark will begin after midnight, around 1:16 on Saturday and 1:56 Sunday. Depending on your local area, expect the sun to rise around 7:39 and set at 6:46. Evenings will feature a moon that is 93% visible. Stay with us, we've got fishing reports from across the area on the way. Plus, Bassmaster Elite Angler Brandon Cobb stops by to answer your Ask the Pro question. We'll be back in just a bit.
So we're idling out of the marina. I'm gonna get Chris to pan around and show you what we're dealing with here. We've got, as I was getting ready to speak just now, my Apple Watch went off and said we're under severe thunderstorm warning. So typical day when you put the camera in the boat. But we're gonna get out here and fish offshore primarily. The smallmouth have really been biting good on this lake for a while. It's the time of year where you don't get as many bites, but you really should catch some pretty good ones. Gonna throw a jig and a crankbait a lot. I'm gonna throw a swim bait a lot. I'm gonna probably throw whatever it takes a lot. You guys have seen enough of these shows I do. I get a plan and then we go in and do whatever it takes. But just hang out with me. I'm actually fixing to run a little ways and try to get away from this thunderstorm, and we'll get right back to you with some fishing. Let's get after it.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Lose. Feel the difference. Waypoint Customs. Customize your boat your way. Strike King. Tie one on. GLACIER Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades. Fishing Specialties. Makers of the premier mount assembly for live sonar.
There's one. There's one right there. Good. There's one. There's one right there. Good. Good way to get this spot started. Feel him shaking his head. I can't tell how big he is. That's the thing about it, this offshore stuff. A lot of times, like that was at the end of a long cast with a football jig. I just pulled up here and hit the anchor button on the trolling motor. Where you at? Come on. There. Come here. That's a nice one. That is a, golly Bill. That's a 2 3/4. He pushed 3. He's healthy and fat. Let me turn him loose real quick. You know, another incredibly important aspect of offshore fishing is current. Now, on the Tennessee River, current is almost everything. The fish eat when the current's running. They set up in relation to how much current is running, kind of dictates where they get on these spots. You can have too much current, and you certainly, on days when it's not running, you can have too little current. Now, what I'll tell you is not all lakes obviously are electric generating, you know, current producing lakes, right? And those fish will still get on the same type of offshore structures. A lot of it has to do with where bait is. It has to do with the relation to depth of the water, oxygen content, just lots of reasons. You know, some people live in the city, some people live in the country. Some fish live shallow, some fish live deep, some fish live around the bank, some fish live offshore. Just remember, current is your friend. Fish will use current to create little eddies. It'll make little pockets where it hits structure and turns. Current is a huge element in catching these fish out here, especially on bodies of water like Kentucky Lake. You know, another thing about this jig is I like a 3/4 or a 1 ounce. I like it, that right there is what I like. That's what I'm talking about. I like it when they bite it. I don't really care what size it is. Let's see what we got here. Feels like a pretty good one. Yeah, that ain't bad. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Oh, that's a dang good one. That's a pushing 4, probably. Big, long sucker. It is, that's the quality of fish you're gonna catch on that jig. One of the things, let me let this dude go. Get on out of here. One of the things about that football jig, I believe every time I've got it in my hand that my odds of catching a better fish increase. I've caught a, you know, like everybody has, I've caught a bunch of big ones cranking, which is probably my favorite thing to do. Dragging a Carolina rig, swim bait, you name it. For whatever reason, big ones eat that jig. And that's a perfect example of it. I've, you know, been throwing around out here, caught a couple little ones, nothing that was TV worthy, but then you pick that jig up and drag it through there and you catch a 4-pounder. I mean, that's how it's supposed to work. So there you go, pick a jig up and drag it around. I don't like that right there. Just exactly the same cast I just made. He's got it. You know, another cool thing about this kind of fishing that I really like is, man, you get on one of these spots and you make, you know, just cast after cast after cast, and when you get them dialed in, you get a bite and you throw right back in there and you make that very same cast, oftentimes it's got to be that cast. You can't be 10 foot off, you can't cast from a different direction. You've got to be just making the very same cast, you know, just the one you did a moment ago. And I mean, I don't know why it is. It's like they all get lined up and just ready to eat, and I don't like that right there. Just exactly the same cast I just made. He's got it. I don't think he's as big as that other one, but I'll take him. Come here. You were mean a second ago. Now you want to quit on me. Stage fright. Quit. Now you want to be mean when I go to put my hands on you. That's a good keeper. I mean, and another thing I want you to think about too, it's when you get on one of these offshore spots like this, just about all your fish are going to be about the same size. I mean, usually I catch the biggest one first for whatever reason, but for whatever reason, it seems like fish school by kind of year class, and that makes them be about the same size class. So I'm gonna throw back in there. I think I've got my line figured out, but it's that's the ticket, is you just throw in there, make that same cast, and you can expect to kind of catch the same quality of fish once you've caught a couple.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Get our free fishing guide at orangebeach.com. MotorGuide's Tour Pro with GPS anchor. The tour is back. Blazer, high-performance boats for high-performance anglers.
That's a nice fish. He's kind of skinny, but that's a 3-pounder all day, maybe 3 1/4. This is a 5 1/2 inch Strike King Sexy spoon. Now I do something a little different with mine. I take a feathered treble or a mylar treble and run my line through it, and it slides up and down my line, and you would be amazed how many times I get one fish on that spoon and I'm fighting him and I feel it, and the second one will get it, because they're real competitive, and while that one fish is swimming around, this is up here running around, and that other fish will swim up there and get it. But let me see if I can get. Well, first you gotta be able to cast. That's the important part of fishing a spoon. But they should be right about right there. What I wanna do is pull that spoon up. It's called a flutter spoon. It's real heavy. And I'm letting it flutter back down through them, and but it flutters real fast. And you get a reaction bite out of them. There's just tons and tons of bait in here. And this big old spoon should look like just a big mega shad that's injured, falling down in there right in front of those bass's face. And sometimes they eat it on the fall and your line just goes slack. And sometimes you go to jerk it and one just loads up on it. There he is, right under the dang boat. The old spoon, whoa. Woo! He about got the last laugh on me. That old single treble hook when I went to, I'm bad about grabbing my line when I flip them in the boat. And I about messed up because I was reaching fret line and I thought, man, these hooks get them so good. That fish right there's 17 inches long, big, long. He ain't real fat, but well, he ain't skinny. I don't know. He's built about like I wished I was, to be honest with you. Just kind of long and tall, not a lot of a gut to him. Get out of here. Go back down there. That is the power of the spoon right there. When you ride over top of them, see them, and you just can't get them to bite that crankbait. You can't get them to bite that jig. Throw that spoon in there and hop it. There's one right under the boat too. That's a little better one. Look at that. You got a jump in you for the TV camera? No? Yes? Nope? Nope. How about that though? I'll take it. Don't get a hook in me. Don't get a hook in me. Don't. The big spoon for the win. Golly, Bill. That's a nice one right there. There's a 3-pounder, maybe a little better. And I'm telling you, I got him. He wasn't coming off for nothing. Golly, Bill. So, one of the things I do is change my hooks out on these. I want the absolute biggest hook I can get. That's a nice fish. He's kind of skinny, but that's a 3-pounder all day, maybe 3 1/4. Let him go home. Get out of here. Go back down there. That's how it works, guys. You pull up on a spot, you see them, you pitch out there, drag, crank, whatever. Today it was everything. Caught some smallmouth, caught some largemouth, and then the spoon kind of finished the day off, which I love. I love to fish that spoon. It used to be super popular a couple years ago, and it's kind of died in popularity, and I'm okay with that because I still throw it a lot. But hey, that's all I got today. It's getting, sun's starting to set. Been dodging thunderstorms. It's been a day, but you know what? Truth be told, we put in late this afternoon, ran around out here, and I caught a pretty good bag of fish. A bag of fish I'd certainly be proud to have in a tournament. Kentucky Lake is coming back, and especially around this Paris Landing area. So make some plans, come down here and hang out. You'll enjoy yourself. There's tons to do here, and the fishing's getting better every day.
latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter for new fishing videos every day. And download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors, making it easier than ever to gear up and have fun out there. Power Pole, total boat control. Visit Mississippi, good times are close by. Low Boats, 50 years of boating craftsmanship. Balls Out, made in the USA, heavy-duty mounts for your fish finders.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's get right on to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Randall wants to know, what is the most difficult thing about being a professional angler? For an answer, we asked Bassmaster Elite Angler Brandon Cobb.
Most difficult thing about being a pro angler is definitely the mental game. It's as much as everybody thinks, you don't always want to go fishing when you have to do it for 5, 6, 7 weeks straight. So the travel part, which goes along with the mental game, it makes it a lot of times just the stress of everything, and keeping your head into it and focused on fishing rather than everything that goes with it is one of the toughest parts there is.
Thanks so much, Brandon. If you want some help from one of the pros, simply go to letsfishtv.com and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit a question. Now it's time to find out who wins this week's Big Catch of the Week.
It's time for this week's winner in the Big Catch of the Week contest. This week's winner is David Butler of Austin, Texas, with his 29-inch redfish he caught at Venice, Louisiana.
Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
I want to take for a minute and tell you about the gear you need to do what you saw me do out here today on Kentucky Lake. I'm going to talk about a couple baits first. One is the Strike King Tour Grade football jig. I threw green pumpkin, kind of a go-to every day, in and out, anywhere. I threw a 3/4 and a 1 ounce. When it's real deep, windy, a lot of current on the main river, I like that 1 ounce a little better. Everywhere else, 3/4 is kind of my gold standard. I pair that with a green pumpkin rage crawl, and you cannot go wrong. Everything eats it. And last but not least on the lures, the Strike King Sexy Spoon, the big one, the 5.5 incher, came in clutch today. When you see those fish that you've ridden over with your electronics, throw that spoon out there and hop it, they can't resist it. Another couple things I want to talk about, the Lew's Hyper Mag Reel. I want to make long casts. I want to stay back off these schools. They get real spooky late in the summer. They've been fished for a lot. That holds plenty of line, big line, it's smooth as silk. And last but not least, the Stinger 198 has 83 feet of deck space. When you're out on big water, you need a lot of room to move around. You need a lot of room, because I've got about 42 rods laying on the deck. That's the gear you need. You know, I don't know about you, but I struggle with balance. Whatever I'm doing, I typically do it 100 miles an hour, wide open 100%. But one thing I want to encourage you to do that I get from the outdoors, from nature, is to find some time to get out there in a still, quiet place and enjoy creation the way it was made for us to enjoy. You know, I feel like I can get out here on a morning such as this, watch the sun come up, hear the birds chirp, you know, the stillness and calmness of the water, and I can unplug from everything. It's a place where I can watch God's creation come to life, and it recharges me, and I think it will for you too. Life is busy these days. Everything's fast, everything's electronic, everything's on the go, but you can get out here and unplug and recharge. Find you a place to do that. It'll make you better, make you more effective, and that's stuff that matters. You know, I don't think I'll ever get tired of these evenings out here on Kentucky Lake. Paris Landing is such an awesome place to come, enjoy. Just, it's rural, it's friendly, and it is chock full of fish. Great access to the lake. I hope that you could take something from this show today and feel comfortable that you could come out here and do the same thing. Barry will be back with you next week. Until then, I'm Crispin Pally. God bless you.